Hello. Um, so I'm just having a look at the Bitcoin chart because I've noticed there's a lot of people panicking at the moment and wondering what's going on. Um, there's always stuff that happens that sends crypto down and up and all that. And really, at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters. It's just catalysts for movement that was probably going to happen anyway. I've been looking at the charts here and just playing around with a few different things, trying to figure out if we could get any indication of um, what was going on. And I've been looking at the last sort of price action that we had just here during this bull market, because obviously the further back you go, the less accurate it's going to be. But um, what I noticed is that there's a whole bunch of things that are lining up that are basically saying this is completely normal and what we've been expecting all along. And people were talking about this before it even happened, and they were talking about it calmly because they weren't in it. And now it seems that they're in it. Um, they've just lost sight of everything that's happened, and like people are saying, end of the bull market and all this kind of stuff. And of course, like that can happen anyway. But if you look at the price action here, like of Bitcoin, and if you think that this is bad, I don't really know how you can think that, because we are still up 470% from the bear market lows um, that were in 2022. So that, and it's now 2025, um, and that was the end of 2022. So basically, it's like 2 years ago. 2 years, 470%. Is there any other asset class that has gone up 200%, over 200% per year, and people are scared? Like, it's just crazy. I can understand, like, you think, okay, we're getting towards the top now, which means that there's a higher probability of a correction or a downwards movement, but it's not really something to be concerned about if you're, prepared and you're expecting it. The only way you're gonna um, have to worry about it is if you're panic selling at the wrong time, or if you bought in at the wrong time. And both of those things are, you can control if you're going to panic sell, but you also have to know when to sell in a sensible way so that you're not just like holding on to hopium. So basically what I've been looking at here, is there's a whole bunch of areas of confluence that sort of leads me to believe that we're going to be coming back down to around the level here, um, and we may not even come this low. But I think personally, if we break this level here, 85, um, we are probably going to go down to, I think 74 will probably be where I put my buy targets, but we may even wick all the way down to 72, just above 72,000. And the reason for this is because we have not retested this area yet. Um, and I was looking at what we could be possibly forming a bit of a fractal. We have this area here. Um, and what I did is I took a measurement from the top here to the bottom wick here, and then to the start of the impulse move, which is here 177 days. Um, and I'm also comparing that with momentum lines, support lines, and the Fibonacci. So if I go into a chart that I've drawn up before, I'll just show you guys what my train of thought is. Okay, so the first thing is we've been in a uh, symmetrical triangle pattern now for quite some time, for the last 43 days. And normally the way obviously we measure these for the upward target and the lower target is we take a measurement from the touch of the upper part of the triangle here, and we take it to the bottom, and that gives us like a rough idea of, from the breakout, how far down we expect to go. Now when I look at that, I look at where the top here is and the area that we would expect to retest anyway, and is basically lining up. So that's one indication, well I should say two indicators that are coming together that make me believe that's what's going to happen. The other one is the Fibonacci. If you have a look here, the 786 is on 72,140 roughly. So that lines up as well. The other thing I was looking at is time frames and the momentum lines. So basically from the top of this point here to the beginning of the impulsive wave upwards, I guess you could go from here, but I mean, I'm just going to go off of here. It doesn't really matter. It's just giving us an idea of what's going on. It's not supposed to be a completely accurate science. And then basically I look at here and what we're doing at the moment. So from there to there, and then that sort of lines up, and we've got if we drew the momentum waves, the momentum lines from this point here, I don't want to make this chart too messy, so I'll just draw them temporarily. So we'd have our first momentum line here. That was broken. We came back down. We came up. We came all the way down. We wicked down. We liquidated a whole bunch of longs. And then we came back up. We created a lower, a higher low, sorry, a higher high, and then we sort of took off from there. So that's sort of what I've been looking at. So we broke one there, and then you could even have an argument for a second one here, for which we came through and we broke temporarily before we went back up. That's not too important. Anyway, so what I'm looking at now at the moment is we've just broken this momentum line here that I've drawn off of this these two low points. And I usually do this because as soon as something breaks this level, I'm looking at the next momentum line or the next horizontal for it to come back down to. We're actually hitting one of the supports at the moment at roughly 88,000, which is sort of where I expected it to come to, but I think we'll be going sideways and possibly get a little bit more of a downwards movement and probably hit about 85. And the reason why I think that is because we have the bottom of the red candle here. So basically the start of the range that we've been moving through. So we're going to hit probably this range low, and then possibly bounce for the range high. Or if we range sideways, we break through this, then I'm looking at the 73,000 to $74,000 mark as my buy-in zone, even though I think it most likely probably will come down and hit this Fibonacci at 72,200. I'm just not going to split hairs of a few $100s and risk not getting my entries filled for the next, what I believe is going to be leg up. So at the moment we're climbing the stairs still. I don't see any reason why we're not. We've had a lot of like bad news and stuff like that, but it's completely normal. Like, it happens every single bull market. We had like COVID last bull market. We had so many things go on, and at the end of it, like, we still had the bull market. I don't think anything is really big enough to stop it. It's just gonna probably delay it, or put some sort of temporary thing on it, probably barring like World War III or something like that, which I don't think is likely at all, especially with the new leaderships that are in. I just don't see any of that happening. Probably. So, where I was going with the momentum lines is that from this point to this point, we have 176 bars. From this point to this point, we have roughly 176 bars. And what happened was here we came up, we went sideways, we wicked down, took out the longs, we went up, we formed, and then we continued higher. And the spot that we hit, you can see, is right here. And that is the high of the previous impulsive move to the upside. This being the high of the previous impulsive move that we had back in March. And I think so now we're probably just going to be ranging sideways and slowly coming down. Then I think we're going to get our big wick down to around this level, and then I think we're going to continue. And the main momentum line that I've been looking at here has not been broken, so I have no reason to think that we are even slowing down yet. I'll just get rid of some of these. So yeah, like I just don't, with all those things coming together, basically it's pointing to this sort of zone right here. And that's basically where I'm looking at doing any sort of big buys into Bitcoin with any sort of capital that I'm not willing to take decent risks on. I will be having a look for entries on the way down and trading in and out of the range if we continue to sort of move sideways and go down. But you have to remember as well, like we were up at 110,000 only a month ago. 1 month ago we were at 110,000. So, and if you look at all the alts and stuff, let's say look at AOS, where were we? So we were up at $1.33. Currently we are down at 0.357 cents. So that's a pretty big drop. 73%. And how long did that take? Let's look at this. 73% in 79 days. So 79 days really is not that long. I remember being up here, and I even did my last video when we were up here, and I was looking at all the levels and I was thinking, oh, this looks a bit toppy. I was actually going to sell out some of my stuff, but I thought, nah, it doesn't look like it's going to correct very far, which was a bit of a lesson for me because it corrected, but then we had a few sort of FUD moments where it pushed down a lot further than I thought. So basically my rule I'm sticking to now is whenever we break one of these momentum lines, even if I'm down a percentage, say I'm down 20% or even 20-30% off of the high, I'm just going to sell out, and I'm going to wait until we sort of break the downward momentum line, and then I'm going to be looking for entries, and I'm just going to be really strict about that from now on so I can preserve more capital. I actually didn't really like, considering a lot of people lost a fair bit in that correction, I didn't really like I'm actually sitting in stables at the moment just waiting for entries, but I just don't if I still had money in coins, I wouldn't be worried. I'd still be holding them. But the reason why I did is because I think if we go a little bit lower, I'll be able to get more for a cheaper price, which is good for when we go back up, which I do think we're going to go back up. So pretty much this is all normal, what's happening. There's nothing abnormal. At the moment, we're sitting at 89,000. We're still above this sort of horizontal. There's still another area here, 85,000. If we hold above this, we could just be wicking back down to this, and there's still, the chance we're just going to bounce off of that. We could even just bounce from here. Like, there's no real reason to think that we're not going to. And sort of what I'm going to be looking for now is things like bullish divergences and things like that to give me an indication of when we might bounce. So I'm just going to go back into this chart. It's a bit cleaner. And if we do bounce and I sort of miss, like a small percentage of the entries, I'm not going to be too concerned because, like I said, I think that 74 could be on the cards here, and that's going to be another 17% drop for Bitcoin, which means most likely going to be a pretty substantial drop for the altcoins. So that will be like super, super cheap alts. And sort of something that seems to be happening is that we're not getting the same style of altcoin season that we had last time, in the way that it seems to be more delayed, and it seems that this cycle is getting slightly longer, which kind of makes sense because it more matches up with the traditional stock market, and this bull market has been driven by the big institutions and stuff like that. So I think that if we look at more traditional stock markets in the way that they move, and then we look at the last bull market and how that moved when it was driven purely by retail, and then we sort of mesh them together, we'll have a bit more of an understanding of what's happening, as a bit of a guesstimation or a guide of what could be happening. So that's basically my levels I'm looking at to buy in for Bitcoin. I'll probably do a little bit. I'm basically looking. I've got a few indicators that I use. I've got like market cipher and stuff like that. So I'll be looking for like reversal signals on there, and probably just be doing some short-term type trading for now, just until we get a bit more of a confirmation of what's going on. But I'm just looking here. If this comes down any lower, we may actually already be starting to form. What have we got? I mean, if we line up those marks, we could possibly be forming already on a lower time frame. We could be forming some bullish divergence, which is sort of what I'm looking at. Yeah, see, I mean, here we've already got one on the 1 hour, we've got one forming there, and that's quite a substantial bullish divergence there. So probably looking for maybe an entry pretty soon, just to start laddering in just on probably some Bitcoin. I'm not going to touch alts just yet. I'm sort of thinking that this dump has caused a bit of fear. It has caused a bit of fear, but normally when I think about buying, is I have that horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach, like this is over. Like that's when I know now it's time to buy, because I know that emotionally and the fear is setting in, and that's making me question what's happening. So then I think, okay, like we're definitely at fear now. It's time to start buying a little bit. And it doesn't seem like Bitcoin. Honestly, Bitcoin is not that bad. It's only come down, it has not come down that much. It's just sort of like the last correction was 30% from here to here. Where is it? There. So 35%. We had that correction, 35%. We had the impulsive movement up, 35%. Looking at, see, and there's just and that's just another reason why I think the and that lines up. If you look at that 33, roughly 35%, you look at 72,466. And then we go back and look at the other thing. That's just another thing. Like, see, the more things I check, the more things are lining up for the like 74,000 retest. And then if we do that, we're going to be in extreme fear. There's going to be no longs. There's going to be they're all going to be liquidated. You're going to have massive buying here. Like, you have like Michael Saylor and people like that, institutions that are buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin right now. And look how high it is. So if it comes down to the 70,000s, what do you think is going to happen? Like, it's just going to get snapped up. It's going to get bought and it's going to keep going up. And I think that's what's going to happen. Then after Bitcoin comes back up and it comes back up to the previous highs, we'll probably have an altcoin catch up. And then Bitcoin will probably correct a little bit, play around, and then break through down here, something like this, come up, play around, shoot up, play around a bit more, and then we're probably going to take off from there. And I pretty much think like that's a very likely scenario of what's going to happen. We'll be keeping up, sticking to this momentum line. We'll be respecting the Fibonacci's. We'll be going back. We'll be matching a previous fractal. We'll be matching a previous correction. Previous time frames, like all these things are just lining up for me for a buy. And if we want a rough time frame for when that could happen, I'm probably looking at in around about maybe like 70, what was the last one? So that was 77, didn't we say? 77 high to low. We got 144. Okay, so we got, that's why. Oh no, we're on the daily. So 144 days. And then if I look at here, high to wick low. So we'll probably get the wick, yeah, somewhere around here. So yeah, probably about another 3 months, I would say. 3 months of sideways, wick down, which will be a good time for trading, and then loading up bags, DCAing in on the low areas, trying to pick up as many bargains as we can, strapping in, and kissing our butts goodbye, because either we're going to be going up a long, long way or we're going to be dumping down. So in which case I'm going to be having stop losses in for sure under this. I'll be having stop losses in under this level here for sure. And worst case scenario, I might lose like a little bit, like maybe $1,000, $2,000, like a small percentage. And then that's fine, because losing $1,000 compared to making, like $80,000, that's just a no-brainer. That's a bet I'll take every day of the week. So yeah, basically I think that's what's going on. That's what's going to happen. And if anything crazy happens, I will have a look and I'll make another video. I don't make many videos though, because I work a lot and there's so many people making videos. Like, who needs another dude? I just thought I'd come in now as a voice of reason, because everyone's putting out clickbait and panicking, and is the bull market over? Are we in a bear market now? And it's like, yeah, okay, we're in a bear market at $88,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, take care. Thanks for watching, and I might see you soon. If not, yeah, good luck trading. And this is not financial advice. This is just my thoughts. So do your own research. I highly recommend learning the basics of trading, because not only can trading help you make money, it can give you good indications of when to enter and exit, to basically minimize risk. And that's all this game is. It's risk management. So yeah, thanks guys, and take care.